Hey good people, how you doing? Welcome to episode 11 of 254 Rugby. We are previewing the Prinsloo Sevens, which was played this past weekend in Nakuru and which marked the final leg of the 2024 Sportpesa National Sevens Circuit. Joining me to talk about this is Walter Orangi. Walter, how you doing?
Hi, Michael. Hi, everyone who's just following us. I'm very fine, Michael. It's been a good weekend in Nakuru, so yeah, it's really a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, it has been a good weekend. Interesting weekend. Our predictions proved to be nothing but predictions. They were totally torn apart. Neither KCB nor Nakuru reaching the cup final. Neither of these teams winning the competition. Quins as well. I expected them to at least reach the semis. Well, it didn't happen that way. KCB even failing to get out of the group stage. We had a new winner in Nakuru. It was the Strathmore Leos, 33-7 over Nondis. Quins winning the overall National Sevens Circuit title on 110 points. But first, before we get into Quins' glory, let's talk about the Prinsloo Sevens and how Nondis and Strathmore ended up in the final.
Yes, it was a weekend of too much drama. Drama started off on Saturday when KCB could not make it out of the pools. I thought it was really surprising that KCB finished third in their pool. Not taking away credit from the guys who proceeded from the pool, that is Nondis and of course Strathmore Leos. It was a good weekend for the Leos who showed intent all the way from the group stages where they were really hot in terms of the pool play. Nowadays were a surprise package. Remember, Nakuru was also a tough. We talked about Nakuru in our preview, Michael, and yes, they did make the cup quarters. But credit goes to Nondis. Nondis who narrowly made it to the cup quarters, dispatched a very big team in the likes of Cabral Sugar in their way to on their way to the cup final. So yeah, it was a very very good weekend for the two. I mean, I wouldn't have been surprised if any of the two won the Prinsloo Sevens because they had done so much to make it to the cup final. It reminds me of what Nondis did the previous year when they went on to win the Sepetuka Seven. So I had shades and thoughts surrounding myself and actually linking the results from the previous year to Prinsloo Sevens. But this time round, I think Strathmore Leos were ready for Nondis in that cup final, and yeah, that's how we have a winner in Strathmore Leos.
Yeah, you rightly put it. We had a winner in Strathmore Leos. It was interesting for Willis Foxy Ojal. Remember, he has been at Nondis as a coach, crossing over to the Strathmore Leos and winning the cup title in Nakuru. How can you describe that final? How did Nondis play? How did the Strathmore Leos play?
Michael, I felt that Strathmore Leos were ready for that final. Bit of a push there. They had a they looked ready. You could see the excitement beaming through the team. I think they really were yearning for that opportunity this season to play in a cup final. They got that opportunity, and you could see that. I mean, they were ready. Credit goes to Fox. Like you pointed it out clearly that he guided Nondis the previous year and of course came through to guide now Strathmore Leos to a cup final. They've really not met our season's expectations because I know Strathmore Leos are a decent side and most of the results this season, many of which have not really gone their way. This was an opportunity for that lucky bounce this one time for the Leos team, and they took it, and they took it with both arms, and it was very interesting and very good to watch for the Leos fans as they dominated that whole game. Went in at halftime with a very comfortable lead. They were actually dancing at halftime, and you could tell that the confidence was there. It was always going to be a tough order for Nondes to fight back, but Nondes did fight back in that second half. However, it was a little bit too little, too late for them, as Leos proved very strong as they crossed over more tries in the second half to put that lead to the numbers that they did. So I believe that picked nicely. It picked nicely for Leos. It also picked nicely for Nondes, but this time around the students were ready for it, and congratulations to the Leo side, Foxy, and of course Arnold. There's this Arnold, captain of theirs, of the Leo's side, a very tiny diminutive fella, but controls his players very well. He's very ever dependable. I believe Leos can really lie back and say that they've had a good outing in Nakuru, and of course, going home with a gold medal. Nothing short of perfection for them this weekend.
Who were the standout players in that final? I did see George Oro, prove to the world what he's made of. But do you think he was much of a big actor for the Leos, not only in the final, but throughout the Prinsloo Sevens?
It's the silent heroes in that Leo's team. I have quite a number of boys I can call names. Like I just pointed out, the captain Arnold Mita was very instrumental. This weekend they also had the likes of Nigel Amaita. Nigel really stood up this weekend. He was very instrumental in making sure that Leo's got the number of points that they did. He could score tries. He was all over the place. I feel like Nijo, to me, was the Leo's man of the tournament. There was also Gabriel Ayimba on the wing, silently doing his thing on the forwards side. The likes of George Oro. George will always give you a bit of highlights here and there. So most of the time he's a good player when he's on the pitch. There was also Barnabas War. Barnabas has been. I thought he had a decent outing. Elton Amalemba also had a very good outing. Arguably, the whole team really, you can say that this weekend was a very good outing. Collins on the wing. Collins he has been an outlet for them. He's been scoring tries. He's good. He finishes well. I mean, I feel like it had to click. The team had to come together this weekend, and it did. And they had a good weekend out. Now on Nonde's side, the mention has to go to Ronnie Omondi and Benson Salem. The two were really good this weekend. I thought also Nyaenya Mosetti on the wing was a very good a good player for Nondes, and they played decently well this weekend. Charles Omosh and Charles Odhiambo were also very good. Steve Odhiambo was also decent. I thought that they had a good tournament, save for that final where they can really say that they were beaten by a better prepared side. They were really outmuscled. They were outplayed in that final. The scoreline tells it all. So, yeah, save for that final, I thought the two teams had a decent outing.
Something interesting, Walter. While you were mentioning Barnabas Owor's name, the way you pronounced it, I thought you were going to say Burna Boy. So I was a bit thrown. But anyway, still a good a good breakdown of how the two sides, showed up and who were actually the guys who carried them throughout the competition. Cabras and KCB, they were chasing Quins, and then they just ran out of steam in Nakuru. Why?
Cabras and KCB, I thought were the hunters this last weekend, but became the hunted because when nerves are on the line and there's quite a lot on the line for you, it all depended on the numbers. KCB needed everything to go right for them. Cabras also needed everything to go right for them. Quins, on the other hand, needed to make it maybe to the cup semis for an opportunity for them to lift it. But I believe, and this goes to show that we have a sort of a national seven circuit system where teams have really caught up in terms of quality. You have a number of teams that can really challenge the top boys. But bringing it down now to the Prinsloo Sevens, Quins. Quins. I think Quins were looking at the bigger picture. Quins proceeded to the cup quarters. They were decent enough on match day one. And they were now hoping for that lucky bounce, but Nondis had something else to say about that. We had KCB. KCB, I thought this was one of the worst results. It didn't really show the quality of the team that KCB is. It didn't really bring out because they had just made one change from Mombasa. Dropping Vincent Onyala for Felix Makoha, and I thought they really let themselves down in that pool play. They have themselves to blame for that because they had all because if they had done all they needed to do and hoped the other side things would be different. If KCB had won this tournament, ideally would still have a bit of mathematics to do. They probably would have come in second if Quins had faltered where they did. Or maybe they'd have won it because Cabras and Quins had also faltered themselves. So they didn't give themselves a chance, and this one is something that I believe the coaching unit have to go and look at the mental aspect of the game because they have to be mentally strong to go into such events, and if they have the mental fortitude that is really needed and they can achieve it, then this was the weekend to execute any of that, and I believe. They can. These are missed opportunities. They can rue these chances, and hopefully they can help them build up towards the Kenya Cup season. Now, talking about Cabras, I thought first and foremost they were in it. The fight was there for them. But a bit of quality was lacking. I thought that they struggled in their halfbacks. They didn't have the weekend that you'd expect Cabras to be having. But they did enough, at least, for them to come in second in the national standings, and it's an opportunity to build. Their squad is also quite different as compared to the one that they had last year. They've made it an act to consistently bring through players. The Seventh Circuit has also given them an opportunity to, showcase the quality in terms of depth at Cabras. They've not had most of their senior players who you'd have expected to play, the likes of Lame Kambetsa. I'd have expected John Ekubu, if he was fit, to play. I'd have expected the likes of Barry Robinson. I know Dan Nangwech was also part and parcel of that squad last year. So they've given the likes of Jackson Siketa, Eric Cantona, quite young boys who get the Olelas. You also have that young fullback who plays for Cabras. So yeah, it was an opportunity for them. We saw what they're made of, and I thought this weekend was another opportunity. But credit to the winners, Kenya Harlequins, and of course Cabras, who came in second.
Like you said, credit to Cabras, credit to Quins, KCB. Well, it was a change in job descriptions from bankers to bottlers. Well, It is what it is. Maybe I'll speak like that, but as a former player, there's that, they say, ni sisi mashabik tunaumia. Yeah. Yeah, so they shifted from bankers to bottlers. If people want to catch, let them catch. It is what it is. We're now fans and, we feel it. Wait, let's not steal away from the team of the moment, They have won this title after how long? After 12 years. Ladies and gentlemen, all hail the Queen, because the Queen is something else. All hail the Queen. Kenya Harlequins, winners of the Sportpesa National 7 Circuit, a first title since 2012. Victor Sudi was playing, he's now the club chairman. Patrice Agunda was also in that squad, part of the technical bench. Let's talk about Quins, winning the overall title. What do you think worked for them? And then also, Walter, how can you describe Quins' season in a nutshell?
It's good to pinpoint that Kenya Harlequins have done what nobody else could do this season. They've remained very consistent, picked up very valuable points, that is run-up points at their own home tournament, went on to win Kakamega. So they had quite a good opening two legs for the Sportpesa National 7 Circuit 2024. And this goes to show for the fact that they went on to win the overall trophy. It means the mental aspect of the game, what Kenya Harlequins has been able to achieve is something to really behold, because competing against Cabras and Kenya and KCB is not an easy thing, because remember, these are teams that have proved to be a big challenge to Queens over the last couple of years. Like you said, it's 12 since 2012 since they won it. And yeah, I thought Kenya Harlequins had a good spine of players that Pau called upon over the season. You had a good player in the name of Leon Young, who was very instrumental. You had the likes of Amon Walo, the Wild Human, Jan Remke, and of course, on the wing, they had this young boy who's Brian Ratila. So it was very important for Queens to have at least a consistent number of players who did not drop out of the side, and were able at least to most of the time either fight for cup competition, that is cup quarter, cup semis, or probably cup final matches. So Kenya Harlequins have done so well. This is a good thing, meaning that they can build on this success moving into the 15s. It's like you've rightly pointed out, Kenya Harlequins needed a trophy to go their way, and this was an opportunity, and they took it with both hands. So yeah, congratulations to Kenya Harlequins. And in a nutshell, I believe they've had a season to behold, a season that reminds them that they are still, a force to reckon with in the local scenes. And yeah, we're looking forward to seeing what Coach Paul Murunga is able to offer us moving into the 15-a-side version of the game.
Absolutely, and you guys, that trophy is big. I don't think I've seen a trophy like that. Neither have you. It's big, Walter. That trophy is big. The money should be bigger.
Yes, it's good to point it out. That is the biggest trophy I've seen in a long time. It's not as heavy as it looks, but it's one shining object that Kenya Harlequins have added to their trophy cabinet. But it's really good for Kenya Harlequins to refresh their trophy cabinet. Remember, they've enjoyed a lot of success in the sevens in the past years, and this is a very good step in the right direction, of course, as we move into the future. Now, speaking of money, yes, that 300,000 on the screen is not really. I mean, for what they've had to go through for the last couple of weeks, I believe the remuneration can go up. I know Sportpesa can do better with that award. but it's something at least for them to go home with and not go home empty-handed, and yeah, step in the right direction, of course. But like I said, Sportpesa and of course the Kenya Rugby Union can definitely do better when it comes to the overall trophy, because that's 300,000 shared it across. Do you share it to the club? Do you share it to the players? Now who and what do they get, and what happens moving forward? Because uh, it was an opportunity, yes, but the money really needed to be more than the one that is on offer.
Absolutely. Well, congratulations to Kenya Harlequin, deserved winners of the 2024 National 7 Circuit title. Let's see, like you said, Walter, if the magic, if the form continues into the 15th season, and also going forward, if there's better remuneration for these teams in these competitions. Still talking about teams, Walter. I see you wearing a shirt. You must be a very proud guy. Just show the guys the badge of the shirt that you're wearing. We're talking about the Kabete Stallions. The Kabete Stallions, well, they have been in fine form during the 2024 National 7th Circuit. They played well. They played well. Walter, you can tell us more, but because it's a shirt game, it's a shirt jersey, Isindio. This is from the Warriors in Uganda. So I just want to thank my friend Gabriel Aredo, good friend of mine. He gifted me this shirt during my last visit there. But it's not about the Warriors. It's about the warrior-like spirit of the Stallions. And Walter, you can tell us more.
Yes, Michael, we've had quite a good season. The Stallions have had a very very decent season. Playing in the nationwide, qualified for the Division One category at Christie, and never looked back the whole season. Have been able to punch above their weight. They've really played. They've really gone against the tide and come through quite positively this season, and I believe it's really a start for Stallions. Now, a credit goes, of course, to the coaching unit, the likes of Collins Onjala, we have Eli Mukaisi, we have Maldroni, Amunabi, and of course Ma Regay, and they've been very instrumental in making sure that the team is consistently training, and yeah, behind the scenes they've been the men who've tried to assemble that whole team together. Now, I'd not finished the Stallions conversation without thanking the chairman, that is Ben Ogonji, his brother Elisha. They've been our financiers. They've made sure that the club has honored all, if not every bit of the fixture requirement this season. Nobody knows how much they've had to fork out, but they've done so much in helping Stallions achieve the target of the season, that was to be in the Division One category. So I believe this is a start. We are looking to qualify for the Championship League next season. We believe we are a team that can play in the Kenya Cup League. We come from Wayaki Way, where there only exists, I guess, one team along that road, that is Mean Machine, and so the talent pool and of course the opportunities for rugby along that road is the opportunities are massive for any of the players. So turn out for recruitment, turn out for training at the Kabete Polytechnic, and yeah, that's where we're situated, and that is where we train. So I believe it's a start of what seems to be a trip to the big top tier categories of Kenya Cup, Kenya Rugby, and this season has been breathtaking, and I'm very happy and confident that the future holds quite a lot for us. And not forgetting our support system, by the way, we have the likes of Nelson Oyo and Konye, who's also been quite impressive and supportive towards the team. We launched our kit this past weekend, and yeah, we're looking forward to recruiting fans who are able to put on the Stallions, wear the Stallions colors with pride, and of course develop something that the public can rally around.
Obviously, and while you're speaking, the image of Amon Walo popped up on the screen. The reason being that it's part of the conversation, has nothing to do with the Stallions, but it's part of the conversation. Amon Walo, one of the players who's been a standout for Quins during the 2024 National Seven Circuit. What can you say about this young man's season? How good has he been for Quins all through the circuit?
Michael, I believe Amon was one of the driving forces for Kenya Harlequin's victory over the likes of KCB and Cabras to the Sportpesa National Seven Circuit. And the young man is I guess hitting his peak. We've seen him for quite a couple of seasons. He played so well for Homeboys RFC a couple of years ago. Was selected for the national team. Played for the Morans. Was very instrumental in helping the team qualify for a tournament which we played in Uganda. I remember when the water was. The pitch was how would I call it, was flooded in Uganda, that is in Chadondo. And so Amon was a good player then. He's really developed this season because he understands a bit of responsibility is on his shoulders because the quality that he has, and of course the coach trusts him to make decisions, and he's taken up that mantle as one of those senior players at Kenya Harlequins. Even though he's quite young, he takes up that responsibility and takes the team forward. He converts for the team. He asks for every bit of opportunity to have ball in hand, attack well. A bit of questions going into his ability in terms of defense, but that is something that can always be worked upon. But looking at how he's been able to really transition to from a young player to a senior player at Kenya Harlequins, I believe this is something to behold. Now, it's an opportunity for him. I believe he's earned he's earned an opportunity to be in that conversation about Kenya Sevens. Because we predominantly select players from our national seven circuit, and our standard performer this season in Amon Walo surely deserves a chance. We're looking forward to seeing him play at Safari Sevens. And of course, Amon now has an opportunity to go and fight for a number in the Shujaa team and make himself one of the mainstay in terms of that team. I believe this is a massive opportunity for him. He's quite talented and stands an opportunity now to progress in terms of his career with the national team.
Yeah, and the story behind Amon Walo also quite interesting. I recall him missing the Rugby Africa under 20 Bartels trophy. Must have been in 2021. He was in the final squad, but because of a heart defect, was ruled out of the competition. It's good to see how he's risen from the psychological, trauma of that particular news, and also risen from the corrective surgery, playing his rugby now, initially at Homeboys and now at Kenya Harlequin. He's come through the age grade system that is run by the Rugby Patron Society, and it's obviously great to see these kind of stories from players like Amon, one of the players that we do hope is going to be around for a long time and get better as he as he grows. Another player who has been immense this season, it has been that man, Dennis Abukuse. Of course, there's that hit that he took from Jacob Oje during the Kabeberi Sevens, but that's neither here nor there. Dennis Abukuse has been immense for Menengai Oilers, without a doubt. I mean, the facts don't lie, the performances don't lie. What do you think, Walter?
Yes, Michael. Dennis has been quite instrumental for his side. He's a try outlet. He finishes most of his chances. He's he's slowly hitting a bit of form because last year was not a good year for Dennis Abukuse. I mean, this past season, I'd say internationally he didn't have the best of a season. I believe the previous season before this season was one of those good and revelation seasons for him when he played in the HSBC World Rugby 7 series. And this kind of form now means that Denis Abukuse is one of those players that the coach has to really think about when making a decision on who to select, because but take away Denis Abukuse from the Menengai Oilers, and I mean they would really struggle this season. So it means he's been a very good outlet for them. I'm interested to see what happens this coming season, as he's been part and parcel of the national sevens team. We need Dennis to be at his level best for him to perform for the national team. And I believe no better opportunity for Dennis than this one, because what he has done is a bit of there was a bit of questions by the coach. He probably didn't say them loudly, but in the decision making in terms of the selection for the national team. Remember, he was the player 13 at some point going into the Olympics. We also had he played in the Rugby Africa Cup when the seniors were resting, and I mean he's now forced that conversation around him being one of the top players. And if there were tires at the national team, he's definitely knocking on the door for that top tire player contract. So I believe Dennis has shown us what he's made of, and we are really excited. The crowd in Nakuru loved him. I could say his name, and the crowd would go absolutely bonkers when he scored. And the fans really love him. He's very humble. Just a man that knows what to do, and he's good at his job. So I'm looking forward to Dennis's season, and hopefully he stays injury free and has a successful season. A successful season for Dennis means a successful season for the Kenya Sevens team.
Yeah, like you rightly put it, Denis Abukuse just coming into form. I recall last season during the National Sevens circuit, he had to be withdrawn after a series of concussions. It really set him back. And by the time he got a looking into Kevin Wambua's squad, I think made one trip or two, was a non-playing reserve at the Olympic Games. Wasn't in the best of form. I think he's also like Amon Walo come over his personal issues with the injury and all, and is now getting into that right frame of mind. And like you said, this is a player who literally has put up his hand for selection. He initially was in the Kenya Sevens team under Damien McGrath, who gave him his debut, and showing why he earned selection then. I think if he continues with this form, he will be great for club and for country. And like you said, another one of those we look forward to see playing at the Safari Sevens. And as we come towards the tail end, Walter, what were your highs and what were your lows of the Sevens circuit in 2024?
Tried calling me. Somebody tried calling me.
Okay, so I was just gonna ask you again, what were your highs and lows from the Seventh Circuit in 2024? Let's start with the highs.
My highs. Well, I've had an opportunity to serve this year as a match day commentator. I think I've been to three legs of this year's National Seventh Circuit, where I've been the MC. That was Nakuru, Kisumu, and Kakamega. Now, my highs in terms of field play, the highs have been the performances really of. The teams that many perceived were always going to be pushovers, the likes of Catholic Monks, the likes of the Stallions, and of course Nondes. We've had the revelations in terms of the likes of Zetec Oaks, Daystar Falcons. We've had good varsity teams, the Strathmore Leos of this world. I believe we had more of a challenge within the perceived small teams, and the quality of sevens keeps getting better by the season. I believe with better planning, hopefully next season we can have more in terms of competition, but it has been a very good season in terms of having those perceived teams that are weak teams take on the big sides, and clearly you can see from the results that it's been a good season. Now the lows, um, well, off pitch, I don't really have much to really put on the lows. Maybe the injuries that we had to the players, I guess, and also a bit of how would I put it? A bit of some tournaments not having quality live streaming options for the fans. That was also one of those opportunities, because I believe that not everyone can be able to make it to the venue, so the event organizers can do so well with developing a way or a mechanism of making sure that the live games are always there on TV for, of course, the audience at home. We tend to forget that audience. It's very important. The online viewers are very important, not only to the brand, but also to develop. Greener, new target audiences, and of course build the brand around new audiences. So yeah, it's been an interesting season for me, Michael. I give credit to the winners. I am happy about bit of the organization. Kakamega was the first time this year. I thought they did well. Cabras did well. The showground played host to a sevens tournament. It's not done that before. Kisumu, as always, the Lolo is be Kisumu. It's a good pitch. It's a good story place. Kenya Harlequins and Christie and Kabeberi, same old. Now, I'm just imploring that if locally we've had a big leap in terms of sevens. We've developed in our sevens. We have so many satellite tournaments who are coming up, sevens tournaments, and just imploring Kenya Rugby to find a way of making this competitive. Maybe an opportunity to try and replicate what the World Rugby does with promotion and relegation at the tail end of a circuit, and have teams play over the season for specific points, and then there's promotion relegation. So if you can have like a cluster of tournaments before the national seven circuit, that could serve as a promotion and relegation opportunities for teams, and then that would really now help develop the brand further, take the game to far-flung areas, and also open up new markets for the sport. So yeah, I believe it's about developing the game and making the game better as we move forward. So yeah, here's an opportunity for something.
Yeah, absolutely. I like the way you talk about having those satellite tournaments as a second tier competition, and then having promotion and relegation at the end of the season. I think it also just brings a lot of sanity, because you do know, this is my opinion, purely my opinion, was always my opinion and my point of view. Have these tournaments and then have the winners of that circuit now promoted. So there's a lot for the event also to learn, not just in terms of play, but also in terms of things like event management. By shadowing the event organizers from the top tier competitions, you're able to impart this knowledge, because some of these events, my guy, you go and the tournament director is also the coach, he's the security guy, he's the accountant, he's the social media guy, basically he's everything. I mean, we can't have that. Yeah, we can't. So I mean, if that can happen, well and good. Creates more hype, more anticipation, everything to look forward to. Walter, we're coming to the close of this episode, but as we come to a close, we console with the Kenya Rugby Referee Association following the death of Daniel Chibata, the chairman of the Rift Valley Rugby Referees Society, passed away after a long illness. Chibata, if you interacted with him, he was a lively character, was a funny man, full of jokes, but unfortunately has been unwell for the past 8 months and passed away. He will be laid to rest this Saturday in Mumias. There is an appeal to give him a decent send off. The details are there on the screen. Rest in peace, Daniel Chibata.
Yes, Michael, he was leading quite a very strong field of referees. I believe the Rift Valley Referees Society has been one of those leading societies in the referees society in the country. And I was really interested in looking at what his leadership was going to offer. It was untimely. Yeah, like you pointed it out, we need to come together and support the referees and see if we can be able to offer Daniel Chibata that send off that he deserves. I saw the referees come together at Prinsloo Sevens. It was very, very good, and it was moving that they are really in support of one of their own. And of course, the public was also rallying around. The society. It was very good and moving to see. So yeah, we just wish the family all the best and rest in peace to Daniel Chibata. And of course, this should be, an opportunity for us to really celebrate his life and really look forward to what achievements he wanted to bring at the Rift Valley Referees Society. Michael, you need to unmute your mic.
Can you imagine after flowing like that, my mic was on mute? Damn. Anyway, what was I gonna say? I was saying that there's still a lot more rugby. There is the Impala Floodlights coming up in October, the Safari Sevens coming up, but more immediately, the Kenya Lionesses are playing against Madagascar in a one-off test this Friday at the RFUA ground. We will have a lot more conversations around this. For now, I'm signing off. My name is Michael Kwambo. Catch you again next time.
Many thanks, Michael. Thank you so much for coming through, folks. It's been a pleasure having you for the last couple of minutes. And yeah, looking forward to the rest of the season. Quite a lot of rugby coming through. So catch you at the RFU this coming Friday, where we watch the Lionesses take Madagascar and, of course, the rest of the season. Cheers. And thank you for coming through for the last couple of legs.